Good morning. It is day 14. I cannot believe it that it's almost been half of a month. And I hope that you are beginning to feel freer. I hope that you are beginning to feel less inhibited and more trusting of your intuition. I am really noticing how my spreads are starting to open up a little bit more. Not intentionally, just because of the container and the space that we are holding and that I'm activating. And so I'm excited to see what's going to happen today. Get your stuff out and paint with me.
Messy desk today, or messy table. So I have some different watercolors. These are green leaf and blueberry watercolors. They are handmade mineral watercolors from some fellow Coloradans out in Grand Junction. Some Stabilo woody pastels, some alcohol markers, some gesso, and we'll see what happens. All right, this may get old to you, but I like seeing all of these in succession. So day 1, day 2, day 3, day 4, day 5, day 6, day 7, day 8, day 9, day 10, day 11, day 12, day 13, and 14. And I also, for people who haven't seen the other videos or maybe just felt compelled to jump into this one, I want to give you that preview of what's to come. So this is just an alcohol marker, and I'm just feeling inspired to make some lines. The wind is blowing. It is chilly this morning, so... and you'll notice again, I think this is the 3rd day in a row that I felt compelled to slow down. And I am working with something that's familiar to me, or not necessarily familiar as in I do it automatically, but these are marks that I have found that I enjoy throughout my art making. And where is this feeling? Feels like more over here. And that feels like a good start right there. I'm feeling drawn to pick up this Stabilo woody pencil and add some color. I'm using the side of the pencil because I really like those smushy lines. And I'm making some circular lines right now. Again, just allowing myself to hear. And I don't hear literally, it's more of a sense or a knowing where to go next. That's how my own intuition speaks to me. So I am just following that sense of what move to make next. And don't ask why. I never ask why. Well, sometimes I do ask why. And then I tell myself to stop asking and to just keep doing. I feel like doing a little bit more light shading here. There we go. And now I'm gonna dip into these watercolors, which I have not yet activated. And I honestly don't use these as frequently. I love that they are handmade and that they are minerals, but they are all very earthy colors, and I tend to prefer the brighter colors. That said, this Mayan yellow is usually pretty bright, so I'm gonna add some of that. spread that around. And you don't have to have a variety of supplies either. You can have just a few. You can have just one. This could just be an exercise with pencil or something to that effect. Pencil or pen or just marker. There is no right and wrong. It's simply playing. And I have set the energy to be activating, to help inspire your momentum. My favorite color from the green leaf and blueberry is this malachite, this green. So I'm adding, getting my brush in there. It does go fast. If you're using it, it does not last long. But, it's a really pretty color. Oops. And there goes the wind. Just gonna set a marker, a couple markers on the edge of this to prevent it from blowing up. And you can see how the page is curling from the wet media. I mentioned at the beginning of this series that this is not specifically a wet media sketchbook. I do like my materials to be multi-use, and I have found that I create more when I am creating in some sort of book that isn't super precious. I mean, I've made sketchbooks that have tons of beautiful paper in them, and then I noticed that I never used them. I don't know, there's just something about it. Maybe it just feels too precious to me. Maybe it's the texture. Maybe there's just something about that texture. All right. And now I'm just kind of feeling into this a little bit. Feel like I might want to use a little bit of gesso. So I'm just taking this envelope, got an envelope here, just a regular old envelope, and I'm going to use it to kind of scrape. I'm going to fold it in half again. So just kind of scrape a little bit of gesso on the page. I'm just dabbing a tiny bit of gesso, and then I'm just going to kind of scrape it in a couple places. And just adding a little bit of texture, not really knowing what I'm doing, but making the marks anyway. I just keep adding a little bit more gesso. And just a little bit more. All right, and that feels complete. I'm feeling like using the back of my brush and just dragging it across. There's not a lot of texture happening on this other page, but noticed that I'm enjoying that extra bit of interest. Now I'm feeling like another pencil. And so I'm just sensing which, I feel like I want to go with this blue. And just adding in some little bits and scribbles. Again, just sinking into the space, really allowing the space, the energetic space and the space and time to inform my marks here. And it's not always necessary, you know, to get words or anything super concrete with your intuition. I know mine tends to speak to me, and I just get a sense of things. It's not specific words that come through, and I actually prefer when it's not specific words, because then we don't get caught up in the stories and the hows and the whys and the whats and the whens and all that stuff. So I actually personally prefer to just, I don't mean to use the word just so much in terms of, it's not that I'm discounting, it's just, it's, I just used it again. I don't know why I suddenly became aware of that. That's so funny. And got different lines, different marks, different textures here. And this is feeling pretty complete to me. All right, so there is today's spread. I lied, I'm just gonna add a little bit of gold here in a couple places. So I was almost done, almost done. There, that feels complete. All right, there we go. All right, bringing it in for your close-up. A lot of lighter colors this morning. We've got the kind of violet, we've got the pink, we've got the gold, we've got the malachite, the green malachite, the yellow, the Mayan yellow. I really see all that texture there. And moving over to the other page. You can see there's still some bits of watercolor drying. See all kinds of yummy texture and color. And that's what we got.
Thanks again for joining me on this journey. I am really excited to be able to share this space with you and share this process with you. And I would love to continue hearing what you're noticing, any insights or inspirations that are coming your way. And if not, that's fine too. Sometimes things are working in subtler ways on deeper layers, and so we don't see the effects immediately. It's not a direct correlation between I took this action or I created this space and then something came to fill it. It is a process, and things are working in their own timing, and the energy knows where to go. So we don't need to second guess it, doubt it. Got it. Time for coffee. See you tomorrow.